Hey everybody.
What's happening? Yo, there is nothing much to do on a Thursday when it's raining besides go to a movie.
Yep.
And even though this came out a month ago, thank God it's still holding up strong. This is Inside Out.
Or, as my mom predicts, the pornographic title, In Out. I'm not even joking, that's what she said that's coming out. It's like, yeah, what was it again? In Out? Yeah, that was it. In Out? In Out. Yeah.
Just the thought of your mom thinking up of a porn title.
Well, you know.
Times change.
Times have changed.
Anyway, so yeah, the newest addition, I should say, to the Pixar library. Thank God that this came out the time that it did, because after stuff like Cars 2, I haven't seen Monsters University, but it was not
I can just say it's not very good, but I almost want to give it a pass only because of how much I love Mike and Sully. But that's it.
Okay. And trying to make, and just this entire summer of sequels. Finally, we actually do have an original idea, and even though, yeah, this idea might have been a concept, this is actual, like, original execution with emotions being anthropomorphic and being able to deliberately, not control necessarily, but just to...
No, that's exactly what they do. They have full 100% control over Riley. I mean, there's a part towards the end where they start to lose control, which it still doesn't make sense. But even then, they still gain control back with her with the help of some of the lost emotions. But I suppose it's one of the things about this movie that kind of turned me off the very first time I saw a trailer for it. Just the idea of not having your own independent thought is really creepy to me. It seems almost fit for like a sci-fi movie, like, you know, little alien
sci-fi horror.
Yeah, little aliens in your head that are now taking over your life and everything. I mean, obviously there's comedic value to that, but still, it's just I like being able to think for myself. But then more trailers came out, and again, I was still... What?
One thing that this movie came up with is that you still have your own thought. That's what the train of thought is for in this. They're just emotions. And you can be guided by your emotions, yes, but you still have to have a separate entity of thought, which is usually led by emotions. Boom!
Okay.
Alright. Sorry to interrupt you.
That's okay. So then more trailers came out, and I was still extremely skeptic. Not only because Pixar has not made a very good movie in a while, but just watching the trailers, and they're making jokes like brain freeze, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, they're just gonna waste this, aren't they? Just gonna be really, really stupid. You know, thinking jokes. And I thought, and the other thing I thought, again, this is mostly just judging by the trailers, but I thought that the emotion characters were just going to be their emotions and like nothing else to them. Joy was going to be disgustingly sappy for everything. Anger was going to be angry at everything. Fear was going to be scared of everything, and it's just going to be one joke on repeat. Disgust was going to be a total bitch. And sadness, well, funny thing about sadness is she kind of is exactly the way I'm describing her. For the first half of the movie, at least.
And then again, you're also wearing the color of sadness, blue.
I actually like the color blue. It makes me happy.
I'm kidding.
So, my joy in my head is blue.
The joy in my head is red, even though that resembles anger in this.
Yeah. Cool thing about the emotions is just quick fun fact. They're all based on shapes. Joy is based on a star. Sadness is based on a teardrop. Disgust is based on broccoli. Anger is based on red brick. And then fear is based on like a nerve or an enzyme. Some sort of...
No. Nerve. Because nerves are skinny and long.
Okay, so a nerve. So, cool, just cool thing. So, anyways, that's what I thought going into this, that there wasn't going to be much thought or creativity put into it, and it was just going to be yet another wasted concept. I could not have been further from the truth, and I am happy to admit I was wrong.
Yep, he actually really liked this.
Yes. Not the greatest animated movie ever in the existence of time and space, the way everybody has been saying it, as they do every movie they see currently. I think I've gone on a rant about that recently, the overuse of the GE word.
Some people... What I've learned is that you can only base your own opinion from what you see originally. Granted, I do follow, like, Rotten Tomatoes, I do follow critic reviews, but I still go in with my own opinion, and I say what the critics think, and then I say what I think, and sometimes I agree, sometimes I disagree. But at least I still make my own opinion and not try and just say, not try and give one general consensus.
See, I generally tend to avoid critics altogether, whether they agree or disagree with me. Most of the time they disagree with me anyway, but I just avoid them because I don't want it to cloud my opinion, and I don't want to feel guilty for liking or hating something. I try to stick to what I think, and if people don't like it, they're free to have their own opinions.
Yep. And we're getting off topic a little bit.
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, Inside Out was really, really good. This is actually my second time seeing it, as mentioned in the previous review. This is his first time.
And even though I'm seeing it so late, I wanted to see this so badly the opening weekend, the opening night, but I had a wedding to go to. I had a wedding to go to for an old family friend.
Oh, worthless wedding. I can't believe it. You know how much of a dick you sound right now?
I know. Ben Smithberger, I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm still glad that I was able to see this now. And actually, polar opposite of you, I was really excited by the first trailer that I saw. I thought this was still a very inventive premise, and I saw, like, the original one where it was just the dinner scene, and that
again had me really worried, because I thought, like, is this just going to be the whole movie?
No!
And like I said, okay, I think this experience has taught us more than anything our differences in feelings on trailers. The first time I saw this movie, I was put into such a fucking bitter mood before the movie ever even started, because I had previews for Pan, Minions, fucking the foosball movie that wants the foosball team wants to be soccer. What else? Hostel Transylvania 2. I fucking hate the first one, and the second one looks just as bad. What else was there? I guess the only good preview I got was of Peanuts, and that's because I'm a huge Peanuts fan. And of course, the whole time I was looking forward to, oh boy, we get a Pixar short. This is probably the worst Pixar short they have ever made. I assume anybody who's seen the movie knows what it is. It's called Lava. It's about a mountain,
a volcano,
whatever. That wants a girlfriend, and so he sings about it.
It's because he's freaking lonely. And he sees wildlife find love and mutual attraction with each other, and he wants some of that, and he has a faith.
We could probably have a half-hour review dedicated to just Lava and how much I hate it and how much he loves it.
I don't love it. I thought it was. It was okay.
Excuse me. You lava it.
I don't lava it. I thought it was okay/good.
Yes. By the way, that is the whole joke of the goddamn short. They replace love with lava.
Pixar
shorts. Can I just say one quick rant on Lava, and I'm done. Pixar shorts are known for having little to pretty much no dialogue at all to speak of, and conveying really, really good stories that are either very comedic or very heartfelt. Again, nothing but the action. This one goes in the complete opposite direction with it. And I'm not saying shorts with dialogue are necessarily bad, but this one's bad because the song they pick. I mean, this whole thing is told through song. The mountain singing about how he wants a girlfriend, and it's so cheesy and so phoned in and so stupid. It's, I have a dream that I want a bitch to suck my dick.
You pervy bastard. He didn't. There is no.
It is bad. It's just bad. Okay, I waited outside the theater, so I didn't have to watch it again the second time.
So what if the volcano wants a blowjob?
Oh, I get it. Volcano blowjob. You suck. You suck so much. Okay, all right. Anyways, that's not what we're talking about. So Inside Out, you thought it looked really good from the trailers. I thought it was going to be terrible because I lost all my faith in Pixar from their previous movies. And the trailers just didn't convince me otherwise. But hey, I saw it anyway because whatever. And man, it is really, really good. Just, however, I'm going to play devil's advocate this time. I'm not. You can praise this movie to hell and back all you want.
Fine. But
I'm just going to tell some of the details I noticed the second time around watching this. Some of them big, some of them small.
I'm gonna act like disgust. Fine. Say what you want.
Yeah, I'm surprised. That's one of the biggest surprises with this film. Disgust is not bad at all.
She's funny.
I thought she was going to be a total bitch, but no. So
not one-dimensional.
No, nobody's one-dimensional in this, which I love. Everyone, I thought the characters were just going to be mouthpieces for shitty jokes, but that's not the case at all. But as I mentioned before, the thing about Sadness, for the first half of this movie, she is exactly the way I described I thought the characters were going to be from the trailers, where she is just her own emotion. She doesn't have much variety to her. It's just, I smiled once. I thought I was going to die. You should do it! It's just, so, but if it were, you know what helps her grow on me, which she does. By the end of the movie, I do really like her. What helps her grow on me is the fact that her design is so damn adorable.
Sadness's design is adorable?
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. I like Joy's design better.
Well, Joy's fine, but she's just kind of regular humanoid. The thing about Sadness I love is that she's just so chubby and stubby. And I have a thing for characters that are just like these little chubsters waddling around and everything else. When she walks, it's so cute. And again, I guess after a while, you just kind of want to give her a big squeezing hug. But yeah, I love Sadness by the end of the movie. But like I said, the first half of this movie, she is just sort of trying to get in the way of everybody. Nobody really knows what her purpose is. They think Sadness, because Sadness is the polar opposite of Joy, who happens to basically run the entire mindset of Riley, or what was it called? Headquarters?
Headquarters, yeah.
Okay, she runs the headquarters of Riley.
I'm just realizing that joke. Headquarters.
You're just now realizing that
yes.
joke. Okay.
I'm hot.
Well, I'm glad they don't harp on it as a joke.
Okay, yep.
Okay, so
another good thing.
Yep. The comedy in this movie is amazing.
It's very surprisingly effective.
It's very snappy, very quick paced, and it's ensemble. It's based solely around the characters' interaction with each other, and because none of them are just mouthpieces for stupid jokes, it comes across as natural. It comes across as genuinely funny, and it just works. However, I don't want to get into this right now, but there's something I found about this movie watching it a second time, and that's that when the movie wants to be funny in context, it really isn't.
Name an example.
Example is I guess one example is Joy trying to tickle Bing Bong. Oh shit, we forgot to mention Bing Bong. Okay. There's one character I don't think you see him in the trailers.
You don't at all. It was a huge surprise too. I'm like, who the hell is this?
Okay, so there's a character in this movie called Bing
Bing
Bong.
Bong.
He's Riley's imaginary friend. He's just this big elephant thing. It's
made of cotton candy.
And he's got a cat tail and whiskers.
And he sounds like a dolphin. I can't even do the voice.
No. And
just the name alone, Bing Bong. It's the sound a doorbell makes.
Well,
but it's still...
It might come across as stupid to some people, but trust me, he's not a stupid character.
He's so enjoyable.
Very quickly steals the show.
He's so much fun to watch.
Yeah. Him and Lewis Black as Anger, I think may be my favorite of the side characters.
Lewis Black, who's known for being a very raunchy stand-up comedian, yeah, he's very funny in a children's movie.
Yeah.
Which is very hard to find.
I almost want him to come back and redo his lines in like a rated R form, where in one of the trailers you hear him go, "So that's how you want to play it? Well, we'll eat the broccoli right after you eat this." He just comes back saying, "Right after you eat my pussy, you fuck."
Well, then you'd have to try and find clips from his stand-up because his delivery. And that's what makes him succeed in this. His delivery as the emotion of anger is almost spot on perfect.
Yeah, they could not have found a better guy for this.
Every phrase that he says is just spot on funny because of the timing that he has and just the amount of weight that he brings to the scenario with just his one-liners. It is perfect.
And again, like I said, he's not just his emotion. He's not his one joke isn't just to be angry at everything. If anything, he's kind of the
he's a sarcastic asshole.
He's a sarcastic asshole, but I mean, he also serves a purpose and context in like Riley's headquarters because he has very cold hard reason. That was that's one of the things when I look at this movie, I'm thinking, shouldn't there be like an emotion meant specifically for just to reason with people? That's kind of who he is,
and that's what fear is too.
I guess fear is partly like that too. I guess to an extent, every emotion has their own form of reason, but that's the thing.
All adding to thought.
Yeah. It makes...
Which you can build on your own reasoning to how it connects to the train of thought, but then again, the train of thought also gets lost in the memory dump.
Well, you've heard the phrase, "I lost my train of thought."
Got it.
Why do you keep hitting your head?
Because
you're hurting your emotions!
So yeah, we were talking about...
Crap, we went on such a tangent there.
We lost our own... we literally lost our own train of thought.
Yeah,
anything else you want to say before I rant?
We went from... We were talking about anger, then we Bing Bong. Oh, when this movie wants to be funny in context, like, you know, it's funny to the rest of the characters as well, it's really not funny. When the characters are just bantering back and forth, that's funny to the audience, but they're not laughing at it because, you know, for them it's just another day at work. But to us, it's funny because we're the audience. But then when it tries to be funny in a way that's supposed to make the characters laugh, and in some cases it does somehow, it's just not. It's for me, it's like, why are you doing this? Go back to being funny. And one example that I was trying to say earlier was. Something happens to Bing Bong that makes him sad, and Joy is trying to cheer him up. So she tries tickling him. And it's like, that's not funny. And then she does the goofy face thing. It's like, cheer up, Bing Bong. No, it's not funny.
It's not supposed to be funny.
Yes, it is.
No, let me explain that.
Oh, okay.
It's because... So, one of the turning points is Joy realizing that constant happiness isn't always the right choice of emotion in order to further a situation. Bing Bong is sad because was it an island that was
No, it was his,
or
it
was
was
the
his
train
rocket
track?
chick.
Oh yeah, the rocket wagon.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna spoil anything, but one of the key objects that Bing Bong used to play with Riley with lost, and he's sad. Joy just tries to use straight up happiness in order to cheer him up. But then, as soon as she realizes that that doesn't work, sadness comes in and uses coping mechanisms, and which explains a message later on that sadness can lead to happiness, and sadness meaning sadness, understanding, now feeling okay and willing to go on. So that moment wasn't supposed to be funny. It was actually a plot element. Plot element and character development.
I can kind of agree with you there, but I could, with the pause and the music and everything, you can kind of tell they were at least trying to get something funny out of the audience.
But it wasn't like a main joke. If anything,
can I give another example?
Like, maybe we can get a giggle out of it. That's it.
Can I give another example?
Go for it.
The parents act like monkeys, like literally do the ooh ooh and scratching themselves thing. All I'm thinking to myself is, who realistically does this with their kids at the age of 11?
That makes sense because they still want to hold on to a memory of Riley as a kid, and also trying to work with her happiness. That goofy side of her used to make her happy, so they're just playing on to help her stay happy. As soon as they realize that doesn't make her happy, then they've realized, oh, maybe she's growing up, or maybe something is wrong.
Okay, but...
And granted, there are families who actually can act like that. Families can be goofy, families can be weird, families can do pretty much anything imaginable, and it might seem normal to them.
Okay. Alright. I think my point still stands, but alright, fine. I'll just let it go for now.
I'm sorry to bash you, but
no, it's fine. This is the whole point. Differing opinions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not looking for ways to poke holes in this movie. I'm just saying that you're going to get plenty of praise out of this guy, and I just am trying to be somewhat different, because I know people, this movie is another one of those movies that I can guarantee is going to be a Frozen situation, where it becomes so popular that people are gonna rip it a new one.
No. I really hope that this does. So what you're saying is that you expect backlash?
I'm going to expect a lot of backlash, and I think I'm not trying to be the head of the curve here. I'm just being realistic. This is just something I notice. Whether or not it ruins the movie for me is irrelevant. It's just something I notice.
I personally don't think this is going to have a lot of backlash, because Frozen was touching a subject matter that had been having backlash for years, which is the princess genre and lead female characters. With this, it has an ensemble. It's not necessarily trying something new out of a done to death subject matter, but I don't expect this to be called the greatest animated movie ever made. I just think it's going to be praised as a great one.
Okay.
Not the greatest, but a great one, and personally one that I thought was more than a joy to sit through. Mostly because, and this is actually being kind of selfish, but I'm a psychology major up in college right now, and just to see how a premise can, it doesn't have to be this big, it doesn't have to be this like big adventurous huge thing, like, oh, going on a quest across a world. it can just be inside someone's head. It can be, the adventure is understanding a human mind and just how someone can tick and how someone can change due to inner feelings, inner emotions. And all of that, this movie takes advantage of that so well, about the aspect of memory, the aspect about wanting to be happy at such a young age. And for them to choose this age instead of like an older teenager where it can be so stereotyped. And this can be so stereotyped as well. Riley is 11 and on the brink of changing through the end of childhood, and just realizing that yes, not everything is going to be perfect. Not everything is going to be straight up happy. You have to take whatever you can get and see if you can flip it around. And granted, parts of Riley do come out, but it's the driving force that's focused on the emotion. The emotion that one can feel can be so powerful that one can just analyze it for days, and luckily this movie takes advantage of that. So yeah, I really like the premise. The execution is just as well done. Plus the actors that they got to play these are perfect. Amy Poehler with her bubbliness is just so much. Her energy flows through. Great voice actor. I'm shocked that she hasn't gotten too many other voice roles. Hopefully she'll get more because of this.
I suppose that's one thing I can give this movie. It avoids falling into the trap that a lot of animated movies do today, where they deliberately find big name screen actors to hopefully bring in more people. In this case, they didn't. I mean, I know these people do act on screen as well, but I'm saying is they're not just big name screen actors that they're bringing in for marquee value, is what I'm trying to say.
If anything, most of them have gotten their fame from being on TV. Amy Poehler with several TVs. The Office. Wait, she was in The Office?
I read somewhere that this was like an Office reunion.
No. Sadness was on The Office. Phyllis Smith. Okay. She was the larger, older lady who was the soft-spoken one. But yeah, Phyllis Smith, hilarious on The Office. Louis Black, stand-up comedian. Bill Hader, big with Saturday Night Live, but I think he was the most famous film star out of the cast besides Poehler. And Mindy Kaling, who got a big name through television as well, currently with the Mindy Project. But all of them bring out so much personality within the emotions that you feel like you're actually watching these emotions instead of just seeing instead of just visualizing the actors in the recording studio.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, basically.
Yep, and I'm sorry, I can't get over. I still can't get over Louis Black, and even though Louis Black does give a very comedic voice performance, the amount of animation on his face is amazing. Oh, yeah. The amount of facial expression that he has, how wide and small his eyes can get, how expressive, like his mouth, how everything moves is just so spot on. I know I used that term earlier, but it's still worthy here.
So well. Yeah.
And also, Disgust is surprisingly funny. Actually, I thought she was going to be one-dimensional.
Just a bitch, and I hate bitches. Okay, bitches are shit.
Bitches be tripping.
Not what I was going for. But,
I know.
But yeah, she's pretty funny. They all, again, have a reasonable personality that fits their emotion, but also, shows that they actually care about Riley's well-being and not just about, the one part of themselves that are like in charge of her. discussed, you know, when in the trailers you see when Joy and Sadness leave, everyone's concerned, and you know, want to discuss one of the first people that cry out, how are we gonna keep Riley okay without Joy, and you know, I like that aspect of it, because otherwise I was expecting her to just be like, okay, now I'm in charge, bitches. It's like,
yeah. Plus, I was also.
Oh, we almost forgot to mention. It would be almost sacrilegious for either of us to say anything negative about this movie, because it praises Minnesota as the greatest place ever in the universe, and San Francisco like shit. Which I suppose we never have mentioned before, but yeah, we live in Minnesota.
Yeah, we...
and of course, the one thing they have to mention about us is it snows a lot.
It snows and we play hockey.
Yeah. That's Minnesota in a nutshell. No, it's not. It's raining right now.
We are in summer though, but yeah, we live just north of Minneapolis in the Twin Cities, and
no, don't give them our address.
Was that our address?
Well, you were getting close.
Yeah. And as soon as they mentioned that, and unfortunately I spoiled myself and read that in the synopsis or something. I read it online, and I was like, oh, cool. But then as soon as I mentioned it, I immediately held up my fist in the theater and said, yes.
Every time they said Minnesota, this audience like had a little mini cheer.
But they didn't. What you're saying is they probably had it inside, but not like.
No, I mean really. I heard people at like this like, we from Minnesota. Yeah. Come on. It's not the fucking hell. You know, it should have been the other way around, realistically. A San Francisco girl moving to the Minnesota suburbs.
We all would have yelled, boo!
Yeah. Instead of pizza with broccoli, they serve her a big plate of casserole.
Corned beef and cabbage.
Yep.
Ah, how can you serve cabbage with beef? Oh, you've ruined meat forever, Minnesota.
Yeah, broccoli on a stick.
Deep fried broccoli on a stick.
Deep fried broccoli on a stick.
Minnesota State Farm. No, Minnesota State Fair.
Minnesota State Farm?
I'm sorry. Yeah, anyway.
She goes to the Mall of America and has an anxiety attack. 10,000 lakes. We're just tooting our own horn right now.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
But well, one more tidbit. They treat San Francisco as more or less a punchline.
Yeah.
But granted, it is to add to the sort of downward spiral of Riley's emotions throughout this experience. And yeah, I didn't laugh that much at the broccoli pizza scene because
I like broccoli.
I don't. And granted, I don't like despise it. I'm just like, not really.
Well, then again, there's a lot of things in this that I don't particularly relate to. Like one of the major scenes in this movie was trying to scare Riley to wake her up, and so
yes, just explain. Go.
And so they. Well, in the midst of trying to do this, they enter her dreams, which is treated as a movie studio in this world.
Very, very clever.
Very clever. I like the details of the posters on the side. There's falling down a long pit, I can fly, and being chased by something.
Was that what was said on the third one? I didn't see it.
Yeah, being chased by something.
Okay, that's probably like 70% of my nightmares, just being chased.
Mine are, oh God, mine are really weird. And yes, sexually.
Tell me more.
Put that down.
Oh yeah, just to add to Chris's hatred of short films, he bought a Blu-ray of short films.
Hey, I like short films. Who said I didn't like short films?
You say it was the Pixar short films that you hated.
No, I didn't. I said I love the Pixar short films because they use no dialogue.
You said this one sucked.
This one does suck because it is mostly based on already existing material.
Off topic.
Okay.
Dream Studio.
All right, so the dreams. So they have a dream studio. It's run separately from the emotions. It's just mind workers, as they're called, which are just these little blobby things. I guess you can call them like they basically act like brain cells. I guess.
Possibly.
I don't know. Maybe that's the memories or. Either way, so these guys get the memories and they're like, let's make something out of this. So their original dream they start with is Riley in her first day of school, which goes horribly wrong and everything. And I especially like the bits with where Fear is watching because they have to have one of the emotions overlooking this. So he's sitting there with a cup of coffee and everything else. It's like, oh yeah, first day of school, never seen that one before. Let me guess, we're missing pants. And the camera pans down, she's missing pants. Called it!
Look, our teeth are falling out of our mouth. Just drizzle them in front of the camera.
It's really funny. But eventually they have to get Riley to wake up because they need to get back to her headquarters.
And again, character development between Joy and Sadness.
Okay, so Sadness says we need to scare her to wake her up, and Joy says no, we need to excite her awake because she's.
We need to be happy
because she's an idiot.
No, she's not.
She is in the particular instance.
I will stand up for her later.
She's an idiot, but anyways, what the hell?
Just go on.
Anyways, so it doesn't work. Her stupid idea doesn't work, and then it promptly gets Bing Bong arrested and thrown in the subconscious, which acts as basically the jail for memories, I guess. Or they
troublemakers.
They say troublemakers. I don't know how that relates to psychology. Like subconscious that puts away the bad things. What?
No, subconscious is where it. This is based on.
I know what subconscious is. I just don't know how.
Based on Freud's theory,
okay.
It's the theory of repression.
Okay.
Where you repress bad memories, and where you decide to push away anything that you deem bad. Like if you have a bad experience and you try and repress it, you push it into your subconscious.
Okay.
Alright, so...
That's anyways, where... Bing Bong gets arrested and thrown in there. And so then Sadness and Joy gotta go save him. And he's captured by Jangles, the clown, who's actually been in a lot of Pixar movies as a cameo. He's pretty much the same clown. Whenever they need a clown-type character, he's usually there. And that's the part that I don't relate to at all, because I'm never afraid. I was never afraid of clowns. I still am not.
I'm not either. But
I've seen movies like It and Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
You've seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
Yeah, and I'm like, this is what people are so scared of. I don't understand why people are afraid of clowns. The battery's dying. Hold on a sec. You keep talking. I gotta plug this in. Bear with me.
So, in order to wake up Riley during sleep, because the reason they need to wake her up is to get the train of thought going in order to get to headquarters. So, to wake her up, they wake up Jangles, and he
Okay, sorry about that, guys. Apparently, I'd mentioned how the battery was dead. I plugged it in, and it just turned off. So, looks like the data should be back.
Thank God.
Not corrupted. And, yeah. So we were talking about Jangles, I believe.
Just the name alone. Imagine if they used that name in Django. Jangles.
No, yeah. But all I was trying to say was that I really don't understand what people are afraid of clowns, which made the scene very unrelatable to me. Because, honestly, you know what? This would have scared the shit out of kids, but I almost think that... Please don't.
Alright, fine.
He's taking his shoes off and his socks and gonna clip his toenails on my bed.
I was just gonna take my socks off.
Okay.
I'm not gonna clip my toenails on your bed.
Okay. I think I almost imagine the scene if it had like a really big dog or a wolf of some kind.
A scary animal.
A scary animal, but I imagine that would have been a little bit too scary for kids. I mean, a clown can still be scary but charming at the same time, I guess. But I don't know. The only other thing I would think is then I guess with a scary animal, you can't really get away with it being non-lethal, I guess. I mean, like, the thing about a clown is it doesn't really kill you, it just looks scary. If it were like a big dog or a big wolf, it would have to like bite and snap at you, but
then again, with the initial fear of it, then any possibility is then your mind thinks that initial fear has any possibility. Oh, the clown is going to kill me. Oh, the clown is going to do something bad.
Yeah.
Just as if people had a fear of dogs. Oh no, the dog's going to bite me. Oh no, the dog's going to do something bad to me.
Yeah. I for a while had a fear of big dogs, and to this day I still have a fear of wolves, mostly due to the Neverending Story. Don't laugh.
No,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But no. See, I was just thinking they could have made that scene a little bit more scary rather than just silly. And again, this is just a thing I have for a while. No idea why people are afraid of clowns. Not one bit.
I understand why people can be afraid of clowns. They can look creepy, and they can. I don't know how, but I guess they can look threatening in some way, but I haven't realized that either. But I had a completely different interpretation on the scene. I laughed my ass off at this, and you heard me.
Well, yeah.
You heard me losing my shit just because of how funny the idea is, and how funny the execution was too. Just him having this funny face and seeing and him being viewed as just the scariest thing ever. And I can understand the scenario because there are kids who have been mistakenly scared of certain things even though they were supposed to be happy and cheerful. So I thought it was like satirically and I guess like darkly humorous.
I don't know. It was all right for what it was.
Oh, I thought it was hilarious.
So it's, you know, everyone's childhood's going to be a bit different. Everyone probably would imagine the scene maybe being something else entirely different. But you know, even with that, the film still does a good job of being pretty relatable in pretty much all accounts to anybody.
But I found this to be incredibly relatable. You can continue.
I won't, like I said, not everything is relatable. The clown in particular I don't get. The broccoli I don't get. The imaginary friend, I never had an imaginary friend. But even without me not being able to relate to it, it still works within the context of the movie because they're still very enjoyable characters and enjoyable sets, and you know, it works.
Even though you can't relate to it, can you at least understand it?
For the most part. Although,
see, that's what I took away from it because, yeah, I wasn't afraid of clowns. I don't like broccoli. I can relate to that. And what was the other thing you can relate to?
An imaginary friend.
I didn't have an imaginary friend either, but at least it was still very understandable and at least applicable. Applicable to reality, which, even though some movies aren't applicable to reality, they can at least have an underlying or understandable theme that can still be relatable to one's own reality. Which, luckily, this was able to do most of the work for us.
You bring up another aspect I want to talk about.
Okay,
but go ahead.
But that's another thing that I found fascinating about this is that even though it's so specific with the memories and with the specific memories that Riley has, with her personality being very specific, she has a goofy side. She's very honest. She's She can be a great friend.
Which, okay, yeah, I just one minor thing. You mentioned honesty. That's one of the things about that's supposed to be about Riley's personality. The scene they show to show that is just her standing over a broken plate with a hammer, and all I'm thinking to myself is, what the hell did you do? And how did you think it was going to end?
She was like 3 or 4 years old. She wanted to see, oh, what can this do? Crack. Oh no! I have an exact experience. When I was like 4 or 5,
I just don't know how that happens. You put it'd be one thing if she accidentally dropped the plate, but she apparently picked up the plate, put it on the floor, smashed it with a hammer, and it's like, huh? How did this happen?
She was curious to see what would happen. She's 4 years old. She doesn't know any better. I have an exact experience with that. When I was about 4 or 5.
Well, apparently they don't care about breaking things though, because she broke the lamp in the opening, and they just put her in a chair and made her eat broccoli. Oh wait, I guess they do care. That is quite a punishment, I guess, for her.
Shut up. My story.
Okay,
when I was 4 or 5 years old. When I was 4 or 5 years old, my dad had a black Honda, and I was just learning how to write my name, so I wanted to write my name in something. I picked up a rock and scratched my name into his car. And I said, "Look what I did!" And then he got mad at me, and then I realized, oh no, that was a bad idea.
And then you got the belt.
And I said I was sorry. So yeah, that's a learning experience. Something that happens in early childhood that you don't understand because you won't think that all kids should be geniuses.
I didn't say she should be a genius. I'm just trying to map the logic here.
Most children at that age don't have logic. They're just realizing what...
I'm just saying it seems a bit artificial. You put the plate on the ground and smashed it with a hammer just so she could say, "I'm sorry I smashed this with a hammer."
They don't have common sense yet!
Alright, whatever. So how many lashes did you get?
I didn't get any lashes. As soon as I saw my dad's face, I was like, oh shit, ran inside the house and started crying.
How many fingers across the ass?
Fingers? What, like...
No, as in like... You know, you say you get 10 fingers across the ass, that means you were slapped 5 times, or 2 times?
I don't think I got, well, I got spankings, but, I don't think I got spankings from this. I realized what I did, and I apologized sincerely, and my dad just went on his merry way.
I imagine you, like, got out some Crayola paint and tried to fix it.
No, I wasn't that creative yet. But, off track.
Okay. You mentioned how this is applicable to reality. Well, you mentioned the word reality. Now I got to talk about the difference between cartoon logic and reality logic, which this film kind of has a bit of a balancing act with. In some cases, what everyone's going to say is that because the memory side of this takes place in her head, that cartoon logic can be acceptable. However, the reason why it's a very, very tricky thing to balance is because a lot of times the cartoon logic can step on the toes of reality logic, which is something you need in order to have dramatic effect. Because in one case where one joke is fear is set on fire by anger, and then Joy pulls out a fire extinguisher out of nowhere and puts him out. It's like, okay, that's funny. It's cartoon logic. But then in another scene where it's really dramatic because Sadness and Joy are trying to get back to headquarters and there's no way for them to get in. Disgust gets Anger mad, so he has the big fire head, and then she pulls out the a mask. What are they called for like welding and blowtorches?
It was just a welding mask.
Just a welding mask out of nowhere. It's like, what? If you guys can materialize this stuff out of nowhere, why don't you? You know, it's that kind of thing that again doesn't ruin the movie for me, but it's just something that bugs me because when you have something that's supposed to be dramatic, like we need to get back to point B. Otherwise, C will happen. and then all you do is cartoon logic based things. You think to yourself, couldn't you guys do something else? If you have all this cartoon power and you just say because well it's in her head it doesn't matter, shouldn't it be much easier to do it then? Because here's the biggest plot hole in the movie. Biggest plot hole.
Shit.
What? Do you know what it is?
I don't, but
you don't? Okay.
This might ruin it.
Sadness is running away from Joy because she thinks that Riley would be much better off without her, and so don't plug your ears.
I'm not plugging.
Oh, okay, you're not. Sorry. So she gets on a cloud, which leads to in my opinion the worst joke of the movie. She gets on a cloud and she starts flying away. You could actually use these clouds to fly? So why didn't you use that to get back to fucking headquarters? That's the biggest flaw in this movie, is that Sadness flies away on a cloud, but she doesn't think to fly to headquarters. And
she does! And she does! Wait.
No, she doesn't! She gets blown in the general direction by a balloon that Joy uses, and then Joy has this big, again, so cartoonish and such ridiculous way of getting back to headquarters, but this whole time I'm thinking, you had a much, much easier alternative staring at you in the face the whole time, because it looks as though Sadness is gonna get back to headquarters when she's on this cloud, but no, Joy does this weird thing. It's just, she goes up real high on a stack of bunch of Riley's imaginary boyfriends, and
which I thought was hilarious.
And she falls down this trampoline, and then grabs Sadness on her way up, and then they jump to headquarters. And I'm thinking that might be a little bit, funny if it weren't for the fact that Sadness. Oh my God! So that's what I'm talking about when cartoon logic gets in the way of reality logic and it steps on the toes of dramatic effect. So that's probably my biggest flaw in this movie. And again, it does not ruin the movie, it's just something I notice. And something a lot of people are probably going to use to say why they hate this movie, but not me. So, and can I just say, the worst joke in this movie, it's related to the cloud thing, is earlier in the movie, Bing Bong and Joy and Sadness are walking through Cloud City. They take a cloud out, and Joy's sitting on it, flying with it, which, why didn't you use it then? But whatever. Then Bing Bong pulls one out, and then a resident of Cloud City comes out saying, "You better pay for that!" And he blows them into thin air and everything, and he walks away. Okay, cool. Later in the movie, they return to Cloud City again because Sadness is actually using her head and Joy is not. Using the cloud to get away, and then the wife of the cloud guy that got blown away by Bing Bong, she comes out, she's sitting next to two cops, they're trying to figure out who killed her husband, and Joy comes running by, and she accidentally blows her into thin air too, and then the cops are like, "Wait, stop you!" And then the one cop's like, "Forget it, it's Cloud Town."
Referencing Chinatown, and that complete children's movie made in 1974.
Is the worst. That is the fucking worst.
I chuckled at it.
This movie works so well with not referencing the time period it's in, without making references to other movies or
It's just
anything
referencing
else.
Pops, though.
It just irritates me so much because that immediately, oh God, it's so out of place in this movie. That's what I'm trying to say. It does not make sense within the context of this, and it's something that's only thrown in there for the adults, but it doesn't work. It just really doesn't. If this movie had a bunch of other, like, little winks and nods to other movies, okay, fine. But that's not this kind of movie. This just comes out of nowhere, and it just seems so out of place. And it seems like something they threw in because they thought, hey, Cloud Town, Chinatown,
And they're both cops.
Well, wait, no, the guy, Jack Nicholson's character in Chinatown wasn't even a cop. He was a detective.
Yeah, cop, detective, part of the law.
Whatever. I hated it.
It didn't
I
bother,
really hated it. Okay?
It didn't bother me that much. I thought it was clever, and it gave me a laugh.
Nitpick, but whatever. And the cloud thing again. I probably ruined that for a lot of people too.
It didn't ruin it for me. I'll watch it again and then see if there is.
She's clearly flying on that cloud, and she's clearly on her way to headquarters. But whatever. That's, some cartoon logic works, but you gotta know how to balance it. Otherwise, you just get the magic rainbow unicorn that she made real from her virtual butt to rain down acid onto the boyfriends and shoot at them with their laser eyes.
Even though there was a literal magic rainbow unicorn.
I know. Okay.
Can we get into some more positives? Because I'm feeling that there's too much negativity.
Well,
too much sad.
Devil's advocate here.
I know, but
you already know I love this movie, and I'm sure everybody else who wants to.
It sounds like you do.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It should. I love this movie. There. How about that? Nobody's. This review came so late. Nobody is waiting on our opinion to see whether this movie is worth watching or not.
I thought this was fantastic. Even though my one nitpick was not being able to see enough interactivity with Riley and the outside world from her head. But even though we actually did see, we did see a decent amount of it, I just thought, a couple more actual conversations with maybe her and another person, besides her parents, who are a big key point. But yeah, if I just saw her have a little bit, if there was just a little bit more time with her, I thought this would have been perfect. But
here's one positive I can say, among the ones I've been ignoring. The bits in real life that aren't inside her head are really well done because there's a distinct lack of douchey kids.
Yep, I am very. But then again, they don't put too much focus on supporting characters,
which is a good thing because I feel like that's exactly where it would have gone. Where there's when she goes to when she goes to school for the first time in San Francisco, and there's a bunch of these bratty girls over in the corner, and she's she's like, oh, these are the popular girls, and discuss we can't talk to them, we want them to get them to like us,
which is actually a good bit of social commentary because it is so tricky to have it. The social atmosphere of junior high is very tricky.
Yeah.
But you and I would know that.
Yeah, especially. But yeah, so it's not a bit where it goes the way of the girls come talking to her and they have to act like total bitches for absolutely no reason other than to either get a joke out of it or get stereotyped. There's a scene where she starts bawling in front of the entire class, and I'm waiting for this to be a really awkward and really stupid scene with all the kids acting like total douches, almost like the scene from Man of Steel with Clark Kent running into the closet and everything. Yep. But nope, it doesn't go that way. In fact, you look at the kids' faces all around. They start to get
they're concerned.
They start to get concerned. They act like actual people, not just pieces of shit.
Yeah, and I'm actually happy about that because negative me. I was actually expecting a bad scene, something uncomfortable out of that. I was expecting to see direct shots of kids being like, "Huh, what is she doing?" Oh,
yeah. Again,
thank God they actually took the situation seriously.
Yeah, that's what I like. No douchey kids.
Even though, even though with you not relating to Fear of Clowns, I was actually not too able to relate to the over sadness of Riley in that scene, crying in the middle of the classroom. I've only seen it in speeches and stuff, but then again, I guess having the focus on you just give a little bit of information about yourself can be considered a speech, but yeah, it was understandable, but for me it was understandable but not relatable.
Yeah. So, real life scenes done very well.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's overplayed, nobody's underplayed. It just works. I keep saying that over and over again, but that's this movie in a stutter. That's this movie in a nutshell. It works. So that's basically the bad and good things without getting into spoilers.
Even though we gave away a hilarious scene in one character that you come across.
Yeah, but it happens so early on in the movie. I wouldn't really consider it a spoiler.
Okay.
But now let's get into some spoilers. So if you haven't seen this movie yet, go see it. You will not be disappointed.
It's fucking
and
fantastic.
if you are, please tell me why, and don't just repeat what I said because that's the nitpicks. Okay.
No, I fucking love this movie, and even though it's been hyped a lot by our Lord and Savior Doug Walker, we're big fans.
I don't trust his opinion on Disney movies anymore.
We're still big fans of him, though, right?
Mostly.
I'm a huge fan of his, and him having so much praise over this, I thought he was going to overhype it like he did with Frozen.
Oh my god, yeah.
But I completely understand why now. I loved the idea. I loved the execution. I love the characters. The characters feel like three-dimensional people, even though the main five are inanimate. They're inside your head, which again, ingenious premise. Very good story.
Sorry.
The plot line is even though you said it's a formula,
it is a formula. Pixar movies do have a formula that they follow constantly. Okay, pretty much every single movie. I haven't seen Cars 2 yet, but either way, okay. Pixar movies generally follow a particular formula. Two characters that are either met under very very specific circumstances or are lifelong friends have to get to blank in order to save blank before blank, otherwise blank blank.
Only not save. It's not save anything. It's get from so and so because of.
Well, okay, so well, but yeah, it's usually two characters going on a journey where they discover the magic of friendship, and it wasn't ever about the destination, it's about the journey and everything else. I know you say, well, that's just every movie in existence.
It's not every movie, it's just a standard plot structure.
But Pixar movies follow that one in particular so close. It's always two characters. It's always a journey.
That didn't happen in A Bug's Life.
Well, that was also an ensemble cast.
Yeah, this one's ensemble cast too.
Okay.
You're saying this was only two characters?
Joey and Sadness are pretty much the Mike and Sully and Woody and Buzz of the movie.
But you're still saying this is ensemble, so that doesn't add up.
It's partly ensemble.
I don't know if you can necessarily.
Whatever. Look, it's Pixar formula, but with a brand new coat of paint and model.
Which is still a good thing.
It's a very good thing.
Yeah, love the story, love the characters, I can't get over how much of an amazing idea this is.
It was pretty good, and I really did think they were going to waste it, but they didn't.
But yeah, absolutely go see this.
Yeah.
This might be a bold statement, but when I see it again, I will make a conclusion if this makes it on my top 10 animated movies ever.
It's not my personal favorite, but it's still very, very, very good. What elevates it for me especially is not only because it's the first good Pixar movie in a while, but it's it's also a good animated movie in a day and age where that's in a sea of garbage ones.
Almost all of the new animated movies are sequels. Are sequels or reboots.
Or shit. Just sheer shit.
Oh, you didn't even see the trailer for Zootopia.
Oh, I did. I forgot to mention that to you. Isn't that the most condescending trailer you've ever seen? Look up the trailer for Zootopia if you haven't. And be prepared to be insulted. It is fucking stupid.
We're anthropomorphic. Then why didn't you make them human characters?
No, that works. Anthropomorphic does count.
No,
they're standing on 2 feet.
No, that's the thing with... That's why some people really hate Cars, is because, oh, it's a story and they're all cars. This is a story, but they're all anthropomorphic animals. Why couldn't you just make them humans?
So stupid. As said before, that was one of the reasons why I actually stepped out of the theater, just to let the previews play and the short play before I came back in to see the movie.
But yeah, having this be like the first... I didn't see How to Train Your Dragon 2, though.
Well, that's a good one. That's a really good one.
How is it compared to the first?
I still like the first one better, but it's a fine sequel.
Okay. But the first, like, Disney/Pixar... The first amazing Disney Pixar movie to come out in 5 years. Personally, Toy Story 3 is still my favorite animated movie of all time. If I see this again and compare, hopefully this will contend.
Yeah, this is definitely up there with Toy Story, Monsters Inc., Finding Nemo, and Up for me. I think I'll put this one above Up and Finding Nemo only because there's other aspects of those movies I don't think work as well. I mean, I love them, but they're, nitpicks mostly. But still, I think I like Monsters Inc. a little bit better. And this movie is very similar to Monsters Inc. I mean, not only was it directed by Peter Docter as well, but it has that very, facility type comedy where it's it takes an imaginative concept but tries to apply it with reality. Like, how would business get done in a monster world, or how would business get done in your head? So, and, they're both fantastic films. But Toy Story still has, the whole trilogy, in my opinion, still has me by the balls. And I still say that is the best thing Pixar has ever made.
Yep. Even though I do like this one a lot better than Toy Story 2, and I have my nitpicks for that, this, in terms of just Pixar alone, this absolutely goes over Finding Nemo. I think it's overrated. This goes over The Incredibles, which I have a high respect for. This does go over Up, which I do really, really like.
I love everything in that movie but Russ.
Yeah, he has one gigantic nitpick with Russ. But this does go over Monsters, Inc., which I still think is a great deal of fun, but it's not one of my absolute favorites. What else is there? Obviously, this goes over Cars and Ratatouille. And I know a lot of people love Ratatouille.
Oh, fuck Ratatouille.
I thought it was just good.
I thought it was just bad.
Nothing more, nothing less.
That, for me, was the start of the Pixar spiral into...
You hated WALL-E?
Well, I guess WALL-E counts. Well, the first half of WALL-E doesn't count, but...
I liked WALL-E. This trumps WALL-E, Ratatouille, and Cars.
It trumps the majority of Pixar movies, yeah. It is certainly up there as one of the best.
Not trumps. Beats.
Well... That's essentially the same thing.
No, trump is where you smash it down. Beat is where you just one-up. You should know about one-upping.
Thank you for dumping all my stuff up.
It was one piece of paper. Yeah, we're shooting this in his room.
Yeah. Sorry, it's raining outside, and your car has the shittiest roof ever.
It's a convertible, that's why.
Okay.
And yeah, if you can't...
Oh, that's why there is no roof. I didn't notice.
Yeah, I'm sitting on his bed.
Yep. Somehow, even though the bed's higher than the chair that I'm sitting on, I'm still taller than you.
Nope.
Fucking hell. All right. So there goes our final thoughts on, well, a final spoiler-free thought. I can't even talk. There goes our final spoiler-free talks. Now we're gonna get into some spoilers. So, like I said, if you haven't seen the movie, definitely go see it.
Possibly see it twice. I'm definitely gonna see it twice before I go back to school, cause
I've already seen it twice, so I'm okay.
This and Fury Road. Those are the only two movies that I saw that were good enough to warrant a second watch.
Yep. How much time we got? Okay, we're good. So for some spoilers, here's something surprising about the movie. Bing Bong dies, and he stays dead. What happens is was if Joy and Bing Bong fall into what's called the memory dump, which is just this big open hole in your head where all the memories you no longer care about go and slowly fade away and become forgotten. Bing Bong sacrifices himself to save Joy, to get her out of the memory dump, and he fades away in a very dramatic bit where he's like, take her to the moon for me, will you, Joy? It's very heartfelt and it's very sad. But the reason why just finish this quick. The reason why I didn't feel anything, because it's like, yeah, whatever, just waiting for the contrived reason why he gets to come back and never happens. He stays dead till the end of the film.
He stays gone.
He's gone. And wow. Shit. That's only by the end of the movie. It was such a delayed emotional reaction, because only by the end of the movie did I think, wait, where's Bing
Bong?
Where's the contrived reason why Bing Bong gets to live? It's not there? You mean he's really dead? For reals? Wait, there might be something at the end of the credits. Fades to black, like Bing Bong. He's really gone.
No, and I knew...
I know I'm laughing right now, but I don't know what to feel, because it is actually genuinely sad when you realize that he is gone forever. Not only because he's a very, very likable character, but because he has, he had a very strong purpose in Riley's life, and to see him just kind of dumped and thrown away like that is really, really disheartening. But at the same time, I mean, I suppose, this is my cynic in me talking, they had to be politically correct with this, because having an imaginary friend as a grown-up kid, as a growing up kid, is a very unhealthy state of mind.
Yeah.
So I suppose even if Bing Bong didn't necessarily die, they would have to explain some way where he's not really, Riley doesn't get to keep him as an imaginary friend.
They could have, if they wanted to still have him be alive, they just have him stay in the subconscious to say, oh, I helped you guys, that's enough for me. But luckily, they take the very adult route and not have him return, and actually have him benefit the saviors in order to try and help the person who created him. Yeah. And even this just made me realize, as soon as we left, this did something more adult than an adult movie that we saw earlier, Terminator Genesis.
Yep.
Everyone lives in Terminator Genesis, a character that we actually liked and actually enjoyed watching.
Oh no!
He legitimately sacrificed himself. He gave a very emotional and very adult motive for a divine purpose. And as soon as I actually felt right away that I didn't have your mentality on this, because with the very serious moments that this movie had leading up to that point, I didn't have one doubt in my mind that they were going to have any sort of cop-out or any sort of bullshit conclusion, because they do want to try and take this material seriously. So as soon as Bing Bong gets Joy out of the memory dump, I started to realize, oh my god, no, he's actually gonna be gone now. And you saw me, I reached out my hand. And said no.
Which was really annoying. You were blocking the screen for me, Dick.
Fuck you. I was emotional.
Okay.
But that's the power of good build-up, actual character development, and good storytelling.
Yeah,
which leads to emotional and adult scenes in a very well-rounded movie that can span emotions for all ages instead of just trying to pander to one demographic. This was a great scene.
God.
I want Bing Bong.
I'm just saying, in most Disney movies, it's usually, oh no, all your kids died. There you go. Here's 3 more. Fuck it. Who cares?
What Disney movie did that?
I'm just saying it as an example.
What? But you said an example of Disney. Where does that happen?
Frozen, Tangled.
What? When in? Oh, okay, yeah, in Frozen, yes. Tangled, yes. But those were due to supernatural powers.
Which is the same thing.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, if they brought him back in this.
Oh God.
It would have been
just as contrived. Just as contrived.
No. What's contrived is not having any explanation as to how. Explaining how they came back in Frozen and Tangled, personally for me, yeah, I saw it as, oh, they're back, it's okay, but yeah, where else do you see that in? Not just like, well, you did, that was just Disney. I keep on getting confused because every fucking Disney movie nowadays is 3D, which isn't necessarily a good thing. I do like 2D animated stuff, but
you know what's funny is that
shush. In Lion King, Mufasa dies. He's gone, no more. Granted, he does have an afterlife presence, but he's still not back in human reincarnated form. Another one is, what can I think? Baby's mom. She doesn't come back. Bambi has to live with it. What else? I call myself a Disney chunky.
Look, whatever. Either way, my point still stands. In most modern day animated movies, they feel obligated to make sure that any death in the film is immediately
nullified.
Yes, if it was some contrived bullshit, either supernatural or fucking whatever reason that says that, oh, no worry, nobody dies, and it just completely kills the idea of sacrifice for the film. Because if you bring in like any kind of resurrection thing into your movie, suddenly it's like anybody who dies can just be brought back. And like I said, all your babies are dead. There you go.
Sorry, just you doing the.
I should mention I took that from Yahtzee Crawshaw of Zero Punctuation fame. That guy's really funny. So that's with Bing Bong. Another spoiler bit was Riley getting the idea. Well, the emotions give her the idea to run away, which I suppose every kid, like it or not, has probably had the idea of running away from home some point in their life. Even though I don't think anyone has really executed it as much as she did. I mean, I don't think
my sister ran off from home all the time. Granted, it was to either her friend's house or to my grandma's.
I probably wouldn't even make it past. I'm looking at my 11-year-old self. I wouldn't even make it to the driveway. But with her, she steals her mom's credit card and buys a bus ticket, which is really irresponsible of the bus station, I should add. She doesn't pay with cash. She pays with a credit card. What kind of 11-year-old has a credit card?
She stole her mom's credit card from her purse.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you hand that to the guy at the bus station, he's gonna be like,
She paid for it
hey,
online.
Hey kid, where's your parents? And she's like, I don't know. He's like, is your mom here at all? No. Why don't you go get your parents and then we'll finish this transaction.
She paid for it online.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
No,
she looked it up online. She grabbed the credit card in order to get information, bought the ticket online, and then left for the bus station.
She bought it at the station.
No, she didn't.
What she looked up online was the time, like the time when it was showing up. But then she went to the station and bought it there.
No, she didn't.
Okay, if she bought it online, how the hell did she print it out?
She would have had, in real time, she would have bought the ticket online, went to the station, probably had some sort of number, some sort of confirmation number saying this is my ticket number. Oh yeah, here you go.
Whatever. Like, it's and then she gets then the emotions decide, oh, this is a bad idea. That's one other thing I minorly don't like, which is when a character will just have like a really, really stupid idea and then just out of the blue say, oh, this is a really stupid idea. We need to backpedal this immediately. And then by then it's too late.
It's when they realize they don't have any control over it.
No, it's when Family Island starts falling apart.
Yeah! That's when they start realizing, oh no, there's literally nothing left for her. There's no more personality. She's destroyed everything that she's known. Well, no, she didn't do it.
Her parents did.
No, her emotions have no control, which means that most of her personality is gone due to possibly depression, but but with that idea, they're now realizing, oh no, we should not have done this because of they're recognizing their actions, and then it's not just out of the blue, oh no, this was bad. They see, oh shit, we were trying to fix something and we've caused this. That's not out of the blue.
Well, I don't know why they didn't realize it before, but whatever. It's more nitpicks is what it is. And I'm just playing devil's advocate and you are getting really upset by it.
I'm sorry, I just really like this.
Well, I like it too, but you know, it's okay to recognize a film's flaws as long as they don't bother you.
Well, I did recognize one flaw, not enough focus on Riley. But
I think there's plenty of focus on Riley.
Probably even though the trailers didn't spoil everything, there are like a couple of key shots that I was expecting to see like in the movie. One of them being just one quick still shot of Riley being embraced by her parents,
which is pretty much like the last bit of the movie.
It's the climax. Just Riley opening up. Riley opening up to her parents.
Okay, you really want to rephrase that a bit.
What? Opening up your emotions.
Oh, you're like, oh, she climaxed.
You say you're less pervy than me, but you've got a dirty mind. You got a dirty mind, buddy. Oh, during the climax of the movie, she opens up to her parents and actually expresses herself. She's not necessarily breaking down. She's opening up and actually and she's starting to be honest, which is rebuilding one of her personality traits. I must be a sucker for these because I get mutually emotional whenever I see a breakdown on screen. But this one was handled so well because there was so much build-up to it. She misses so much about home, which is again very, very relatable, and you still just want to be in that situation with them. Since this is such a likable character and such a driving force, we just want to be there for this person. And that's what happens when a movie can get you invested and have you just want to be there. I got teary-eyed at this, which almost never happens at live screenings. They're only from nostalgic movies.
You all right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. I'm good.
Well,
Any moments like that for you?
not really.
Wanna hug it out?
No.
Alright.
God, there's not much else to really say. Yeah, it's just a really good movie. The emotional bits are strong. The comedy is really funny.
Speaking of comedy, I thought you were gonna hate some of the comedy because when Joy and Sadness are trying to make their way back to headquarters, come across Bing Bong, and he helps them navigate, and there's a lot of like quick jokes through the rest of the parts of Riley's mind, like Imagination Land. What was the tunnel that they couldn't enter?
Oh, the void of abstract void or something like that. Void of abstract thought.
Abstract thought, where they changed different shapes. I thought that was funny. And again, serious situation with comedy in it. Right after that, they go through a lot of like quick jokes, mostly through Imagination Land, like a House of Cards being knocked over and say, "Oh, I'd fold," because of them being knocked over so much. Because it can be so lighthearted. These quick, somewhat childish jokes actually do work.
But see, when it's quick, it's okay for me. Even if I don't think the joke is particularly funny, as long as it's quick, it's gone before I even have a chance to complain about it. So that's what I like about quick comedy.
Okay.
Is that even if not every single joke hits, at least you don't harp on it. Because nothing's worse than somebody going, "Get it, it's a joke, are you laughing?" And then it becomes painful to sit through, as most of the other movies we've sit through this summer have demonstrated. And that's why quick comedies for me are far better than slower comedies. Not that slower comedies are bad. I like slow comedies, but they have to be very, very careful about the jokes they pick then, because if a joke is bad and it's harped on too much, well, that takes me out of the movie, and now I'm kind of a little pissed off, because it's like, no, it's not funny, stop laughing. Yeah, so I like the comedy in this movie.
And
we gotta wrap this up.
if I gotta say one thing, is that this movie is a lot more tense than I thought it was gonna be, because with Joy and Sadness gone, her entire inner world starts crumbling, and granted,
It turns into Uncharted for a second.
but yeah, I didn't expect this movie to be like so intense, but I actually do welcome it, because then that just pushes for more. For more character, for more emotion from the characters. It pushes for more reasoning. It pushes for more. It pushes for more everything. But it's necessary. It's not forced. It's absolutely necessary, and it's absolute.
It comes across as natural. As it works within the context of this world, not just here because, well, it's what you see in most animated movies or anything.
Aside from one or two things, I think this is perfect.
And
I use that word rarely.
I definitely wouldn't call this movie perfect, but rarely would I ever use that for anything. So, it's a damn good movie. You should see it, and you'll probably enjoy it.
Someone buy this movie for me for Christmas, because I will watch it over and over and over again.
Are you asking the fans that?
I'm probably going to tell that to my parents, and they're probably going to get it to me anyway. But if they don't...
I already pre-ordered the Blu-ray.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Then I might as well just try and steal it from you.
You're not gonna be let back in my house then.
I know.
Well, that's pretty much it. Kind of run out of nitpicks. Other than, okay, I guess I got one more in me.
No!
It's real quick. Just real
Fine.
quick and then we're done. Riley's the only person in the world that has multi-gender emotions and that don't look like her. While all the other emotions of all the other people in the world look like their person of choice and also are all the gender of choice. I know why they picked multi-gender and not looking like Riley, because it, helps create a diverse cast. But in the context of the world, it's just something that's really weird and stands out. The only reason I could think is that maybe they're trying to say that Riley's a bit of a tomboy, but she's not at all.
The only tomboy thing she has is she plays hockey.
Which is gender neutral anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, now that's the end of my nitpicks.
The animation is top notch.
But what else would you expect from Pixar? Even their bad movies have good animation.
That's good. This is great animation. The designs can be hilarious, but also very smooth and well done. Riley is adorable. Just as adorable as Bonnie from Toy Story 3.
And Boo from Monsters, Inc.
She's cute, not adorable. But
I still say Sadness is the cutest thing in that movie.
But designs are great. The imagination behind all of the designs, the ideas for the encasings of the memories, the storage of the memories, the layout of all of Riley's mind is just dazzling. It is a visual spectacle. It's a visual spectacle. It's creative. It's creatively off the charts great. I have nothing but good things to say about this.
Even though I've had nothing but mostly bad things to say about it, I still enjoy this movie thoroughly. It is still probably one of the best Pixar movies and will be remembered for many, many years to come. This movie was made with longevity in mind. It has a very timeless appeal to it. It doesn't allude itself too much to the time period it comes in. Like, Riley's not talking about Facebook and YouTube and all these other things that are one day going to be eventually outdated. So that's good. You could tell this was made by the classic Pixar team that clearly makes movies with that in mind. So, yeah.
This is timeless. I'm going to show it to my kids.
Well, I'm going to show it to my kids after I show the other stuff. Well, that's assuming I get kids. That's.
I was just going to say.
That's wishful thinking. But
don't worry.
Whatever. It's okay.
You're going to have kids.
By now, you probably... I assume you probably turned off this video and gone to see it anyway, so...
Shut...
What? Alright, but what were you going to say?
Shut up and don't be shitty. But... yeah, it's been a month. If you haven't seen it, get your ass off of the couch and go buy a ticket and see it.
Assuming you're sitting on the couch. I mean, like, you're sitting on the bed right now, so for all you know, they could be watching it on there too.
Whatever. Go see it now. Doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're up at the lake, if you're at your job, go see it. Now, right now, go to your theater.
Yep. And that pretty much wraps it up for Inside Out, I guess. What's the next movie you think we're going to see? It's somewhere between Minions, which you're going to have to drag me like Sadness and Joy to that fucking thing, or possibly Ant-Man, which another movie I'm not looking too forward to seeing. But...
or I could drag you to Trainwreck.
Oh fuck. Maybe.
So any of those three,
will
be coming up soon.
Yep. So. Take care, everybody.
So long, farewell. You should see this movie.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Yeah.
Alright. Bye, everybody.